Yo,
How you doing?
tired today. Spent most of the day walking.
Oh yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm feeling a bit tired. Where I have to fix a bunch of like unit tests, which are like a programming thing, like code that checks if other code is working. And I haven't been doing like too much work on it, but it's kind of a tiring thing to work on because it's like find the thing that's broken. When you find it, decide how to fix it, try to figure out if something else is broken. It's sort of like a never ending like chain that, and the resolution is not that fun. Like you fix the thing and then you just worry that like something else is broken somewhere that hasn't been like tested or something. So I don't know, that I guess that left me feeling kind of tired at the end of the day.
Yeah,
I'm
I
reading
remember
a book
coding.
though. I'm reading a
Coding's a
book
fucking
these
nightmare.
days.
What book?
Yeah, coding in general. Yeah, I
Yeah,
find coding is also energizing though. Like the at the end of the day, the thing I want to do is like write more code on my side projects where like it's actually like fun code. Uh, but yeah, the book I'm reading, it's called Mr. Penumbra's 24-Hour Bookstore, which somehow maybe like 10 years ago I read like a short story on the internet that was titled this, and then this novel is now like based on that short story. So it's kind of interesting. It's just like a guy works in a bookstore and there's some kind of mysterious thing going on, and it leads him to like this society of people that are trying to like decode this super old book because they think they'll be immortal if they do it. So
Hmm.
that it's a decent story. I don't know. It's set in San Francisco actually, so they mention like real life landmarks, which is kind of cool.
Touch of realism, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
So
book.
where? What's that?
That's the book you're reading.
Yeah, that's the book. Yeah.
Neat. Yeah, I'm working on Humankind right now.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a few titles that I keep hearing the names mentioned.
By me or other people?
Uh yeah, you mentioned them, other people mention them. I don't know if I think humankind like rings a bell as like people mention that. Is there another one called like Homo sapiens or something?
Just
Maybe.
Sapiens.
Sapiens, yeah. Yeah, I have a book called that I haven't read yet called like Thinking Fast and Slow. And then I read online that like some of the stuff, maybe even like there's at least one entire chapter that like isn't really true, and like the author's kind of the one that like sort of led a hand in discovering that himself. Like it was like cuz he wrote the book one year when like there was a lot of like fake studies in like psychology journals, and then apparently like the whole chapter 4 is like based on stuff that can't really be replicated, like nobody's been able to show that it's actually true. uh but it was surrounding the idea that like I think it's surrounding the idea of like subliminal messaging. I have a feeling that like the idea of like quickly showing someone an image when they don't realize and having that influence their behavior, I feel like that might not be as true as like it was portrayed originally. And so I think they may have like he may like wrote about that, and then later we found out it's like not true. But that this Thinking Fast and Slow is like quite a popular book, so I'm kind of interested that like a decent part of it is like not exactly like it's just like studies that they studied it, they thought there was an effect, but there wasn't really. But I don't know. I
Interesting.
guess the rest of it is good. Yeah. So where did you walk?
Well, my vehicle's in the shop right now. I haven't done maintenance, proper tune-up maintenance on it for years. So, I mean, I've done oil changes and tire rotations and like, things. If something's about to fall off, I'll fix it, like the exhaust. But yeah, it's just I don't even think it's an engine issue. That's why Toyotas are just so incredible. I mean, I'm starting to think they have a self-fixing module on there or something. because like when it hit, I started to get some like turbulence. The engine was not happy, and oil change was just done. I know the coolant's leaking a bit. I topped that up. I put something in the oil to thicken it a bit because it's an old engine.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, this is gas. I can smell it. It's really potent. So, I mean, outside of using a fuel injector cleaner, I don't know what else to do. But I just think it's something to do with, well, fucking winter and the salt that we use here probably ate away at the fuel line. That's my theory. They're gonna have to probably redo the fuel line.
Yeah.
So the engine's not getting enough fuel. I think it's spraying a little better. I haven't seen anything, but that's my guess.
What's your overall opinion about salt on the roads? Do you like that or no?
But I mean, it's that or we fly off the road. Well, Alberta uses dirt,
Yeah.
and then like the snow just sort of like packs on itself. But yeah,
There's a lot of cracked windshields in Alberta because of like little pebbles that get kicked up because I guess of the stuff they use on the road.
honestly, I'd rather a cracked windshield than
Mhm.
cancer. But yeah, I know like the highways are pretty crazy. I'm sure there'd be a lot of accidents. There's just a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
So I guess they kind of have to. Guess the point is to not live in an area where there's salt, which is why I'm moving. One of my
And
many
then what?
reasons for moving.
Oh, like no, yeah, no snow, no ice.
Right.
Yeah.
No snow, no ice.
It's weird. I wonder like all that salt, like it gets washed away and it goes into like the water system. And that I don't see how that doesn't mess stuff up. A bunch of salt like in all the lakes. Like
Yeah, I don't
ducks.
know. Maybe it
Ducks
just
must get some salt.
gets absorbed into the soil or something.
Yeah.
I do not know.
So did you record with your system you have set up there?
I did. I just haven't listened to it yet.
Mm. Should do like a comparison, like a in the same track, like do a recording with each
I
to
did.
highlight the difference.
I got my cell phone and I got that.
Mhm.
I played them both at the same time. Like I recorded at the same time,
Oh yeah.
but I
Yeah, you
haven't
should like
listened yet.
line that up and see what happens.
There's some sort of like underlying fear to, I don't know if it's fear of success or what's going on with me, but like I'm motivated and then I have no motivation at all.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah, I experienced that.
So yeah, I don't know if it's fear or what it is.
Yeah, it's exciting. I always am very excited to like set things up and get things in a position where I could do like make the final thing. But then when it's like that window of time where like it's time to just like do the work and use the system I've created to like create the thing and publish it and see what happens, like then I lose because it's almost like setting up the stuff and getting into a position where I can make the thing is the real for me that's like the real proof of work and then just making the thing is just like going through the motions and that's not like it doesn't feel as like exciting or creative. It doesn't feel like unlocking anything. It's just like almost like winding down or something. And
Hmm.
the fear, yeah, fear of success is kind of interesting. Like, yeah, for me, I've had like fear of success before where success would mean getting kind of like locked down a little bit. And that's been, I thought that was interesting at one point where it was like I don't want my options of what I can do to be like limited by having success at something and then like maybe realizing later that like I could have had success like in a different way, but the first success sort of like locks like prevents me from taking the pathway on the second one or something. But what do you think about like what do you have can you like and go into the details of the fear of success around maybe like recording music and having it get popular or something? Is there like a fear associated with that?
Mm, yeah, and then having to be a slave to it, having to keep up and keep making pieces for people.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's actually a good point because if one piece gets popular, people expect the next piece. And if you don't meet like the recurring drops, then like you fall out of popularity. But it's probably hard to get popular a second time if your name has already been out there before. Yeah, it's like if you're growing in popularity, you want to keep like a steady pace and release things and grow each time and like sort of build trust with like an audience. But then yeah, I'd imagine if you're not ready to like commit to that schedule of like regular releases, then the audience might not stick around, and then it could be like harder to get them back. Like they wouldn't, they might not show up again if they feel like it's not going to be like something they can rely on like every so often a release. But I don't know, maybe it's different than because I don't know, popular artists seem to be able to do it like they release like an album out of nowhere after so long.
Hey man, sorry, I just dropped there for a second. What was that last thing you said?
Just that maybe like artists that are already popular seem to be able to like release like an album out of nowhere sometimes, but maybe we still see that same effect of like I don't know, like Britney Spears or Bieber, like if they release like an album now, I don't know how long it's been since their last ones, but like if they release something, it doesn't like they don't go right back to their original audience. Like, but if they had kept up releasing stuff, kept up the pace, maybe their audience would be like it would be larger today than it would be if they tried hard right now to gain the audience back. Like gaining the audience back maybe is like harder than building it in the first place or something. But I guess it's not really an issue for them, but it's more like if you're like a small creator, like if I feel like yeah, sometimes a small creator, if you have like an opportunity to make a jump to like low level success, then you have to like line up a couple things like drop an album simultaneously with like an appearance or something and sort of make the biggest splash possible. But if you miss time like some elements, then there won't be like this one moment where everyone sort of hears your name or something. It's sort of like it would be more of like scattered audiences becoming aware of you or something.
Mm.
There are marketers like that's what people that make like independent video games, like if they're releasing a game, a lot of their job is like as they're developing the game, like build a following on social media, and then at some point they probably want to consider like paying someone to like market the game. I feel like marketers know like how to spend like advertising budgets and how to connect to different outlets. And then I think that's associated with a lot of successes like if there's like like a release day that people are like anticipating and you have all these review embargoes like launch at the same time, then that's kind of important to like time all those things so that there's like a big splash on one day and everybody hears about it. And but that's kind of stuff that like marketing people, they know how to do it.
And I don't. That is an
Yeah,
area
I
of,
wouldn't run
yeah.
it. I would if I had something like a good game that I made or something. I would probably just end up hiring like a marketing person if I thought I want to sort of try to make like a income off it or something.
Yeah, marketing is definitely a big part of it. I just don't know how to get her done.
It must be like specific, like people specific for like musicians who are going to release an album. Uh, maybe there's like specific people for that. I would imagine. I don't know what their fee is, or if they take like a cut of the proceeds or something.
It's all part of the journey. It's figuring out how to do that. I came across some stuff, but in the end, I need to have a good product, a good song, a few good songs, and I need to be able to get it out there to the right people to spread it. I mean, people listen to it, they're like, "Wow, I listen to your stuff to going to bed or when I'm studying, and it's soothing, beautiful, and yada yada yada. I hear some of the piano that's out there, and it's just like, really? Like, that's what's playing in the spa? And then there's some like really, really good pieces that I'm like, how the fuck did they do that? And I think they're just using like layers instead of just left hand, right hand. They have multiple instruments, like multiple pianos. Because sometimes I'm like, there's no way you can play that with two hands. I would know. I think they're using another layer.
I wonder if you could sell music to like a local spa business. If you heard bad music in a spa, I wonder if you could like sell them the rights to like play one of your pieces on a loop as like replacement music for their spa.
Hmm.
And then from that, like then if people are like what if they say they like the music in the spa, then like maybe your tag or whatever is like your business cards are on the front like reception desk, and that's part of the deal is like they license the music for some fee and they put your like a contact info for you like on the desk, and then they get to like play it on a loop. Because I don't know
Yeah.
how much businesses pay. I wonder like there must be some like if you just want random background music. I wonder what that costs if you're like a business. They must just find free stuff. But then if you told them like customers will actually like your spa if you play this other music.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I would have to like come up with some just fake piano pieces, put all the right yeah, the hashtags, whatever.
Yeah.
Be like, spa, easy listening, study, sleep aid.
I'll start that recording again. It dropped off for some reason.
Uh, but yeah, I'm not really pushing it. I don't know. I enjoy playing. I want to play sometimes, but as soon as like think about doing it all the time, then I don't want to do it. I have my piano listed um for $9,600.
Oh
It
yeah.
was made in 1928. It's almost getting close to a century old. It's been beautifully maintained. I just kind of redid the body when I moved, courtesy of the insurance company for damaging it. But you don't just repair the spot, you do the whole thing. So that was like 4 grand of free work. So it's a beautiful instrument. It's just the technology, it's like a phone. Instruments are like phones. I find that new tech is better. So like Yamahas, or there's this brand that starts with an F, Fazio or something. Like there's a lot that goes into engineering a perfect sounding piano. And mine just doesn't do it, I guess. I'm getting picky. I think that's what the issue is like I just got it tuned and I was playing and I enjoyed it. But there's a few notes that I guess some of the part that keeps the string tight, it's a little loose, or it gets loose too fast and then it gets out of tune, like
Huh.
slightly out of tune, but enough for me to hear. And that one note is enough to throw me off. Like I need to have a perfectly responsive and sounding instrument to really get into the zone.
Yeah.
So I think that's the underlying issue. So if I can cash this one in, I have a buyer potentially. She wants a technical write up and she wants a video of it being played to hear it. And she's gonna take a trip out from Montreal to check it out. So if I could sell that, that'd be great. Maybe I'll grab a Yamaha
What format for the Yamaha? Just like the keyboard and like electronic or
grand
full
piano.
body?
Yeah, not a baby grand, full grand.
Yeah, it's
If
cool.
I'm gonna have a piano, I'm gonna get the full thing, right?
What do you
I
think
already
about
have a
renting a
Yamaha keyboard.
piano? Like renting or
Yeah.
leasing? Then you just if it's gets out
Oh,
of tune, you just swap it out.
yeah, I could just go to a music shop So like where I live, there's a grand piano store just up the like a 5 minute walk to my place. Pretty much everything's super close. Like I live in the best part.
Yeah.
There's like a resort up the mountain, 10 minutes up the mountain from where I'm at, and then there's like this whole box store area down the street, and then there's like this little market area. Then there's a lake, and it's just yeah, everything you can think of. It's the best area. So I could go there, and actually, when I was there 10 years ago, oh God, I can't believe it's been 10 fucking years. Oh my God, I'm way overdue going back. Way, way overdue. But when I was there, they're like, "Yeah, please play the instruments. They need to be played." So I could grab their best one, hook up some mics, and give her.
Yeah, yeah, I find the like it's very fun to think toward the future for like all these things aligning where we can, finally like sit down, do our creative thing and have it be good. But yeah, there's that last bit that yeah, I find yeah, that's something that I'm always like working on as well. Like my solution these days is get something like get something as fast as possible into a state where I can like put it online, put it out in the public, and people can like understand what it is. And so then, yeah, I'm always just geared towards like as fast as possible, like package the thing into like a understandable form so that, if someone stumbles upon it, they'll understand like what it is. And then really nothing, no other considerations beyond that kind of like that it'll just function and work. And that's how I sort of approach this idea of like being intimidated when it comes to shipping stuff. I just try to go as fast and light like as possible and get something out there. And then maybe when I have more motivation later, do a better job, replace the thing with a better thing or something like that. Uh, but yeah, it's frustrating though when that last part where the motivation drops off, like right before you get something like out the door. And so it's fun to think up new strategies how to like defeat that process.
Yeah. I think we're so wrapped around the axle about being productive, being useful, producing something. We just forget to live sometimes.
Yeah.
I really just want to live, you know? I want to experience stuff. I don't always have to produce something. If I want to make something, then I make something. But I guess part of it is that people want to be validated and appreciated, and we might not get it from our own inner circle. We want it from others, some strangers. I don't know. I think it all comes down to sex. In
Yeah,
the end, we want to
that's been
be,
said. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, want to get the maximum exposure so that we can get the best possible mate. It's like, well, once you're married, well, what's the point? But maybe we still want that deep down. We still want to be desirable. We still want to be able to get the best of the best. I don't know if it's a guy thing, if women do it too. I know we're programmed to spread our seed. Maybe they are programmed to find the best man. Maybe that's what it's all about, is finding the best mate in order to have the best chance for our offspring, right?
Sometimes though you see like people that did find like a pretty good mate or like people that did find like the best mate, they're still not like super satisfied. Like those people are not like living examples of like they're completely satisfied. They have nothing else. Like they kind of I guess once they check that box, like yeah, like a lot of people are geared towards like checking that box, like finding the perfect like partner. And then but then they once that's sort of like in place, I guess they move on to the next thing. And maybe I guess that next thing maybe is more just like creative satisfaction. Like you want to create something and have other people see the thing you created and understand what you meant by it kind of. And then there's like a shared like you want as large a body of people as possible to sort of share in your same thoughts or like the same view that you have or opinion you have. you want like a bunch of people to like share and support that.
Yeah, but
And
where does that come from? Why? Where does it come
yeah,
from? We didn't need that back when we were in tribes. It's not an evolution thing. Is it a program? I don't understand why that's in our programming. I mean, yeah, there's this basic need to want to be accepted by people, but like, does it have to be everyone? Because sometimes, like, I think of Musk, and I'm like, okay, he has over 100 million, no, $100 billion. You know, every time he posts something on X, he gets crazy likes, like between 200 and 600,000 likes and millions of views because he has millions of followers. And I'm like, would I want that? Would I want that kind of, because with his money and his position comes, he's in the public eye. And I guess if you're a particular personality, maybe you would thrive on that. I don't know.
yeah,
Maybe it feels good.
it seems bad when like if you cross a certain threshold. I feel like the people are paying attention to you not because they like and support you, but because they're either like jealous or they hate your ideas. You know, like they'll give like negative feedback when you post stuff. And I would want to be like right below that threshold, like an audience, like I have some kind of audience that thinks the same way that I do and like appreciates stuff that I make, but I wouldn't want to step across the line to where like a larger amount of people become aware of my stuff and then take issue with it or something, and then going online becomes more of like a avoiding the negative criticism than it does like a uplifting experience.
So you would rather be a quiet billionaire than a public one, like a private
Yeah.
one?
Well, I think as soon as you like anywhere near billionaire, you'd be sort of like it's seen like negatively. I'd have to be like very much equal to like everyone I meet on the street. I would like to be like very much like in their range of wealth and everything like that. Uh like
Let's say if it was
financially or
crypto.
creatively. Yeah. What's that?
Let's say you got into Bitcoin early and you had 100,000 Bitcoin right now.
Yeah, that would be
You're a
I think that
pri
would be bad.
you're
That would be like most of
you're
my time would be
quiet.
like worrying about that.
Why though?
Just because I would go through feelings of like, can I use it? Like, do I have a responsibility to like use this money to like help some other people that need it? And then like, should I tell like different family members about it? Like, and then if I did, it would be like, oh, that family member, it seemed like they were like expecting something, and so how much should I give them? But if I give them something like, and they pass on the word, like, and then people would like once it sort of got out, like people would contact me with like offers, and then I would think like, you know, do I start a business or like, and then I'm running a business for some reason, or uh, then
You
like,
kind of over you.
yeah,
Yeah, you're really thinking a lot into this. It's funny.
yeah, I just feel like the people around you would be like, oh, let's buy like a property here, and then also over here, and then it's like now we have like two houses, and we're selling one, and like there just always be like a lot of like big shifting things happening, and like really like my goal essentially, like my skills are on the computer, the things I create are through the computer. So if I have as many days as possible where I'm just like sitting like relaxed, I get to do a workout, I get to sit at the computer and like be creative. That's really and like I bought like a computer that's pretty fast and it's not that expensive, so it's sort of like that my needs are like met by that, and then everything on top, everything else that adds any complexity is just pulling me away from like sitting bored. Like I want to be like sitting bored in front of the computer trying to entertain myself by like making content kind of. So I wouldn't really want like so many distractions beyond that.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a fun thing to think about, like the value of being bored, where like we almost live in a world where like there's so much content and so much good content that we never have the opportunity to be bored in like a real way. And so whenever
Oh,
it's like a luxury sometimes, like, yeah.
yeah. Well, being bored is a luxury, but I get
Yeah.
pretty bored. I also try to not go on social media because it's toxic as fuck.
Yeah.
I was starting to feel a lot of envy. Envy is a very dangerous feeling.
Mm. Yeah, it's misleading
One of
too
the
on there.
most
Yeah, it's
dangerous.
so tiring to like you always got to like remind yourself like we're just seeing like the best version of those people and it's kind of fake, but it's so hard to remember that every time like just seeing like so many images or videos. It's hard to like think that we're not like missing out on stuff.
Yeah, a lot of work goes into that. A lot of the videos that they do,
Mm.
a lot of the content that they film, a lot of takes sometimes.
Mm.
But yeah, they don't show that. There's a few times where I've seen like the making of the video, and I was like, yeah, you know, a lot of attempts, got it, and I appreciate that. It puts it in perspective.
Speaking of that, have you seen Dune 2, the movie?
Oh, love it. You?
I saw it, yeah, a couple days ago.
Yeah, I love it.
There was a shot in
But
that
after
movie that they said it took a month to film. And I think it was like one of the more epic like sandworm scenes, battle scenes. Apparently they spent like a month like filming that. And that's insane. An entire month for like one shot. And then, and then you got to do the whole rest of the movie.
was that when they were riding all the sandworms into attack enemies, or
That's what I think. Yeah, cuz they said it was someone described it as like basically like that and that's definitely like a pretty epic shot that required something, so I assume it's that one. I can't think of like more.
they need to get that video game back out, the tactical battle game. They had it for PlayStation, Dune 2000. I love that game. I mean, it just would like the map would get all laggy because I'd have too many fucking tanks. That wasn't any good. I mean, like I'm sure a Korean kid would beat the snot out of me, but I enjoyed it. I had this technique of where I always had saboteurs, and then they would go in and I would take a building over and then build concrete, and I just continued to build barracks with saboteurs, and I just take over their base. I never really fought the computer properly. I just cheesed it every time.
What race are you playing in that game? Like there's the Freeman or the Harkonnen or something,
Trades, Conan, and then there's like another one,
and you can
a
pick like
serpent
each one.
one. Yeah, and there's a different story too for each one, which I liked.
Can you get a sandworm in that game?
Sandworms are not your friend in that game.
Uh,
The Fremen become your friends with the when you're the Atreides.
right.
Like the Fremen work for you, and they're like incognito, and they do a shit ton of damage. So yeah, they just like cruise around, and you can ambush the shit out of tanks with them. Like every house has their own strengths. Harkonnen like just fucking have like self destruct on their tank, on their one tank, like their super destroyer,
Oh
like
yeah.
double plasma. You just send that thing in, and you just be like fucking self destruct. Boom. They don't care if they're people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and eventually,
the
like
part
the
I don't know is
Emperor.
in there's like six great houses in Dune, and I don't. All I know is the two of them now, like the Harkonnen and the Arcades. They didn't really mention much anymore yet.
This will be the third movie.
Yeah, we
You're gonna see
finally
a
get
lot
one.
more of the
Yeah.
houses. God, the
That'll be
third one
really
needs to
good.
come out. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
the third one needs to come out. I'm really excited for it already.
It's gonna be a while, maybe.
Mm, I know. I do hope that they were filming at the same time. You know, I got all the infrastructure. I guess why not?
Where I wonder where they are filming. Are any of those desert shots like a real desert somewhere? I never
I don't
looked it
know.
up.
That
Yeah,
one
it's a
was really
cool
well
story
done, though.
because it doesn't follow like the like there's definitely not like a clear hero, even especially at this point. It's like it's just like a story of power shifting around, people aligning behind different people, like some revenge in there, and not it's not really like you're not rooting for anyone in particular. It's just like a pretty interesting series of events, which is I like stories like that where just every piece of it is fascinating, but there's not like a mainline way to absorb it or something.
Well, I don't really see the hero's journey in it.
Yeah.
Well, okay, Medivh is getting progressively stronger on his in Dune, which is sort of like I guess considered the nether worlds, but he's getting all this strength and he's getting all these friends. But who's the enemy? Everybody else? Like, and I don't think he's gonna go back to a normal way of life. I don't know if it's the hero's journey or not. It might be. There's some form of it, but there's a lot of other layers going on. I
Yeah.
really liked seeing the Harkonnen world and all that technology. That was pretty sick. Like the fact that they came up with this stuff, like the
Yeah, it's a very
concept art,
strong
just
world. Yeah.
yeah, savage.
Yeah, because at this point, there's nothing like even at the end of two, there's not really like anything hanging there. Like everybody's kind of good and bad at the same time. Like there's been loss, people have gained stuff, and it's not like there's any sort of hurdle that needs to be overcome to unlock some kind of win for everybody. It's sort of just like at a standstill a little bit, and so I don't
Well,
even know what I would hope for, like to or
it's
what
the
needs to be
fucking
resolved.
holy wars now.
Yeah,
The
that's
Fremen need to kill the other four houses in order to free the planet. That's the obstacle.
is that the only Dune's the only
Yeah,
planet that has spice? Is there any other planets that had spice?
that's the only one apparently.
Yeah, because that's pretty
I don't even know
like
what it does.
well, they said spice is used for space travel, so it's like the most essential like fuel for even going anywhere in a spaceship. So then like they can't, like that would mean like no ability to fly spaceships if they kind of give up on Dune
But how do they get to doing it in the first place?
by slow space travel.
Yeah, I guess it's like folding space time. I don't know.
Yeah,
I gotta
it
read the
would be cool
books
to
now
see it.
because like
Oh yeah,
I want
read
to
the book.
know like where that came from, like how they harnessed the spice to fold space time or to do warp or whatever. If that's what they're doing.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see like a spin-off show where they try to go into as much like fake technical detail as possible.
Yeah,
Just like a live footage of like a scientist in a lab like doing engine experiments. He finally like gets it after like a season. Then he has like a spice engine. The music too, very good in Dune. I like the two like there's like a female vocal thing that they play whenever there's like a key scene. And then there's also like a guttural like throat singing voice that I sort of associate with like the Harkonnen and stuff like that, and or like the scenes where there's more like troubling or tension. I looked up both on YouTube. I tried to find like the sound effects, and they're both are so different, and they're both so good. And then they use them at like really opportune times, like in the film.
yeah. I'm definitely a big fan of it. I watched the older ones too.
I've only seen like clips of the older ones.
Graphics are pretty bad, but
Mhm.
you know what? I enjoyed it still.
I went to a theater to watch Dune 2 called the Alamo Draft House. And they had like the Alamo Draft House always has like a 30-minute like custom like pre-show for like every film. That's kind of like it'll have some of the actors like doing appearances in this like pre-show, and they'll do little bits like or they'll like do kind of like make memes out of the footage and stuff. And so for Dune it was like there was like Christopher Walken like floating around, and then they had like a scene from Dune where Paul and whoever are like walking on the sand dunes, and then Christopher Walken's like floating or dancing there, and they pretend that like they can see him, and then uh like they just had they had footage from like the old dunes. They kept like splicing, like switching back and forth between like the old footage of like the Bezzy Generate like ladies and then the modern ones, and it was like an interesting, like it was just cool. It's cool. That's kind of like, and then the Alamo Drafthouse has no like ads really before a movie either, and so it's actually like one of my favorite theaters now, just because there's no ads, but then also this extra weird content at the beginning.
So what is this?
It's just like I guess it's a marketing ploy, like it's sort of a this like Alamo Drafthouse is this like chain of theaters, and they're just like typical theaters. They usually have like only like one screen or something, and you can order food while you're there. But basically, before the movie plays, they like the chain itself has like spent money to like create like an entertaining like 30-minute ish like show that kind of is totally random. Often it's like a bit funny, and then it'll make like allusions to like the movie you're gonna watch. Like one example is like I was just like sitting there watching it, and then this like clip came on where it was like Paul in his room in Dune 1, but then on he's like watching that little movie screen that he has in his room, but on the screen was like a younger version of him doing like a silly dance, which I guess there's real life like footage of that, and they sort of made it look like he's like kind of enthralled with this like dance that he himself is doing, as like he's wearing a hat or something like that. Uh, and that was just like a 1 minute clip that was kind of funny, and like I guess they just made it, dropped it in there, and I don't know what like how that all came together, but it's kind of funny. And then uh but it's like because it's like a pre-show, they never, I don't think they post them online or anything. So when I watched like the most recent like Wes Anderson film at this place too, and they had like a sort of a like another fake like pre-show. There was like a like that band, there's like a band that plays, like a couple of people gather together in this Wes Anderson film in the movie, and they play instruments like as a band. And so in the pre-show they had like black and white footage of like that same band like playing at another venue, and I at first I didn't know what it was. Like in the pre-show I was like, what is this black and white footage of some random band? And then during the movie it was like, oh, like they made like a pretend black and white footage of like these same people in a band, like just as a fun thing, I guess, like before, like to intro to the movie. But it's weird that like the only place to see these things, as far as I know, is like go to the theater, the movie when it's playing, and watch the pre-show in the theater, and then they just don't. You can never. I don't think they release that anywhere. So it's kind of a weird thing. It's like pretty good quality stuff, but only available like super limited time and before the show. And it was weird too. It was like the movie on my ticket, it's like the movie starts at like 12:30, and but at 12 is when the pre-show starts. So I was there like half an hour, like I was just hanging around like half an hour early, and they opened the doors, and I walked in, and the pre-show is just like playing right away. But it's like there's like half an hour of like pretty entertaining stuff, and if you just got there when the movie starts, then you just like see the movie. You wouldn't really know there's going to be a whole thing before it. So I'm just overall I'm kind of confused about like what, like why this movie chain is like spending money on this stuff, but I guess it makes them like distinct from other chains, I guess.
Yeah, I thought the start time was when the movie was supposed to start, not the pre-show. But yeah, you get there right on time,
Mm.
and then you're getting like 30 minutes of pre-show.
Well, the yeah, in a regular theater, what I've found is the time that it says that it starts on your ticket, there's always going to be like a half hour of like ads after that time. But in this Alamo Drafthouse, like the time on your ticket that it says when it starts, that's actually when the movie itself is going to start, like on the minute. And then 30
Mm.
minutes before that time, they just kind of have this like casual like various clips or whatever, like taking place, and you can because you basically you're supposed to like kind of go in there. You can order food and stuff. They take like food orders, then they deliver all the food like when the movie starts, kind of. So there's kind of some stuff to do. Like you can add your credit card to your bill and stuff.
Okay.
I got actually one of their so I got like a hamburger there, and the menu on the menu it's called a Royal with cheese, and that's from like the Pulp Fiction movie.
Oh yeah.
That was cool. Yeah.
Sick. Yeah, I did the VIP experience
Mm.
um for Dune 2.
With IMAX and all that. It's unclear to me how much like people, some people recommend IMAX, some people say it's not like a huge difference. I was looking up like the aspect ratio of the film to try to figure out like what screen would it be like best on or something.
And
Well, I found out that apparently like an IMAX screen can change its like shape slightly, so it can go from like aspect ratio 1.6 to 1 all the way to like 1.9 to 1. So basically any film that has like an aspect ratio from like 1.6 to 1.9, you could like the IMAX screen will like adjust to fit that. But then I looked up like what is the aspect ratio of like the Alamo Drafthouse screens, and they said their screens are like from 1.8 to like 2.3. And then I looked up like what is the aspect ratio of Dune, and Dune is like 2.3. So then it made it seem like Dune as a film, as far as I understand, is like one of the widest. Like it's wide and shallow, as far as it goes for film screens like shapes. So like the rectangle that the is the footprint on the screen is going to be like wide and shallow. And so I guess that means that like you kind of want like a wider screen, because then like the full width of the film can be like placed without cutting off like the top and the bottom. I guess if you have like 1.6 to 1, that's more of like like a square shape, or like closer to a square shape. And so then you're limited by like if it's a square, then there'd be like black bars at the top and the bottom. But I think in IMAX they can like shrink the height to like fit the exact dimension. So I was trying to like work, but it seems like if the film is shot on the aspect ratio that fits the screen that you're viewing it on, then there won't be like any sort of adjustments made. It'll just work on the screen. And then you could maybe, if the screen is overall bigger, you can like scale it in size. But yeah, there was really no conclusion from all of that. It's just like I'm not sure, like I guess it depends on like do people, because people want like the biggest screen, and I'm not sure if I like care, like if I just want to like see like good footage, and usually I prefer to just like be in my own house, like watch it on my computer screen, like have snacks, like pause when I want to, and just like enjoy the footage. I don't really care if it's like big. I don't know. Sometimes I don't really feel the bigness of a screen as much as just like what's going on the screen.
all right, well, that's that's a
Yeah.
lot about screens. I haven't really thought. So I just have a cheap Sony TV from 2010 that's still somehow going.
Yeah, it's more just like
You know
access
what?
to content. Like just like, can you purchase the shows you want when you need to? And sometimes that's kind of hard to do. Movies, they have this exclusive like in theaters. So if you want to see it, you like have to go to the theater, which I would rather just like I would pay like extra to just like get the film on my computer early.
So like, yeah, I don't mind waiting.
Mhm.
for free or for heavily discounted. There's a whole bunch of like games, for instance, that I want to play, like Final Fantasy Rebirth and Seven Rebirth.
Right.
But I'm just gonna wait. You know, they're charging almost $100 for every new PS5 game, which is just nuts.
Yeah.
So
Steam is kind of good. Steam has like sales for older games pretty often. You can put stuff on a wish list. I think you can maybe get alerted if the price goes on sale.
yeah, I've done that for like the games I want to check out.
Yeah.
I want to play Dune 2000 again now that I talked about it, but yeah, that's not going to be on the PS5.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a problem with games too, is just like games that we liked, they go away and then we can like unless someone like revives them, does like a PC clone and we have some way of playing it, like it's just like gone.
They do remakes, which I like,
Yeah.
but not every game gets a remake. I'm glad they remade Dark Souls. And they did a remastered Dark Souls. Fuck, if they remade that, I'd play that too. But Demon Souls got a remake.
I'm
And
not, yeah, I'm not Demon Souls I'm less familiar with. I forget like
it's like its origin.
hmm,
I don't know if it's like everything stemmed from that game, all those themes or whatever, but stem from Demon Souls, or if the remake took the different elements from the other games. But I'm getting a lot of I'm getting a lot of like Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 from Demon Souls so far.
great.
I just I don't know. I'm not My bandwidth is pretty limited when it comes to games. Like there's so many out there.
Yeah.
So many. Like I don't want to go crazy.
Is Demon Souls from like Demon Souls is after, like chronologically after Dark Souls? Was it made after or made before?
It was the first one. It was Demon Souls, then Dark Souls,
Oh, and
one,
like
two,
same company too,
three.
I guess. Like FromSoft makes all that stuff.
I don't know. I'd have to look. But yeah, then Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Dark Souls 3 was the final one. Now it's Elden Ring.
I wonder if Elden Ring will have like Elden Ring's gonna get some DLC. That'll be interesting. I wonder if there'll be
Oh
Elden
yeah,
Ring 2 and 3.
yeah. I don't know. I'm waiting for the DLC. Apparently, you need a PS5 for it.
I wonder if the DLC will work out of the box with like the seamless co-op mod. Because I have like two or three friends that I could play the DLC with, unless there's like a lot of bugs, because the mod has to be like updated or something.
You mean between platforms?
Well, on PC, like you know how there's like limited co-op in the base game, like Elden Ring, where you can like summon people like for a local area or do fights.
Yeah,
There's this
it's
mod,
definitely.
like some random person, they like made a mod that lets you just like play full co-op for the entire game from like start to finish, and you can even like drop items between people, or like you can all teleport to the same location, or like your map pieces like sync, like which waypoints you have, and someone like added all that, and so yeah, you can just like you can basically start a new game and then like summon people into your game, and then like three people can play from like start to finish theoretically like the entire game without any like interruption. And that was crazy to see someone like hack that in, but it works like really well, and you can just like boot that up and then you have like a full ability to just play as if like it is just like a multiplayer game where you can like see the other players and fight bosses together and stuff. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's the way it should be.
Yeah, I
It'd be
wonder
sick.
why they wouldn't just make it that kind of experience.
I don't know. I think it'd be great though if they did it, and then they had like crazy invasions as well.
Oh yeah, like yeah, 3-on-3 or something.
Yeah, you got me thinking about it.
Well,
I
that
think
if you have PC, that mod does exist for like Elden Ring as it stands right now. It works. It works really well. But then, yeah, I wonder just when the DLC comes out, if the DLC like adds any sort of new functionality or something like that, or the mod needs to be updated, then I feel like I'll have to wait till somebody like tries it and reports back if like the mod works great or if it's like broken kind of. Because sometimes like someone will jump on like a horse, but the horse is like invisible. Like they see their own horse, but you don't see their horse. So it's just like this floating person like with their legs like in the shape as if they're riding a horse and they're just like floating around. So that's like the example of like one of the janky aspects. But sometimes you do see the horse. I don't know what determines whether or not you see the horse.
do you play it or no?
The yeah, I play Elden Ring. I played through a couple times. Like at first I would go to this one area where I could like mine experience. But then yeah, then I played this like seamless co-op mod and there was two other people that were playing with me. We would get together like one night like a week and play. We haven't really progressed very far in the game. Like I've beaten the game like a couple times. But now what I do, I just like I use like save file manipulation tools and things to just like give myself like I give myself like all of the smithing stones, all of the like tears of ashes, like mimic tears like upgrades. Uh and actually what I've been liking doing is just having the club. Like I pick the wretch at the beginning, so I have a club, and then I upgrade like all my stats to like 99 in everything, and then I'll like upgrade my club all the way. Or sometimes I'll hold off on upgrading the club until I can't like beat a boss fight, then I'll upgrade it. And then I'll get to a but then I get to a point where like there'll be bosses that I still can't beat with that, like with a max level club and stuff. So then I get like some arm, like the one of the top like armors, and then I have to always go get like the mimic tier ashes to then have that thing like fully leveled so that I can beat the bosses.
Oh,
Uh,
so you're just pure
yeah,
cheese in it then.
yeah. Sometimes the times when I have fun is when like if I have a fresh character that I have like the ability to like level up, but I hold off on doing that, and then I have like, I'll have like an honest boss fight, which I'll lose, and then I'll sort of like it's fun to then like give yourself just enough to like easily win the fight, but sort of have like some need to like roll around and stuff. But yeah, by the end, I basically have to do like by the end I have to do like everything possible. Like I need like all the talismans, all the like damage reduction stuff, all the flasks and everything. Like and then that's the only way I could beat like some of the later game bosses. And sometimes I can't even. Then sometimes it's like annoying when I feel like I have all the equipment and I'm still uh like spending like 30 minutes dying to some boss.
Well, here's an idea. How about you try to beat the game in level one?
That's what my friend is doing right now, actually. Like level, yeah, like he's allowing himself to do anything necessary except for level at all with the wretch. And I think basically,
That's
like, yeah,
still
well,
cheese.
as soon as I get to a boss that would one hit me, like that's the thing that kind of doesn't work about it is that like there's gonna be a boss that one hits you, and essentially the only way to beat the boss is like don't like beat the fight without getting hit, and then that's like I would assume that's like impossible for like I've seen videos of people do that stuff, but I would just like quit at that point.
So
Yeah.
I'm doing maidenless. So my character's its name is maidenless. I don't
Okay.
get a horse.
Hmm.
I don't get to go to the table, the round table hold. I don't get the the levels. I don't get the upgrades. Now, what I've done was, so you can go to the giant blacksmith and upgrade your
Right.
weapons to be maxed out, and you can do that. But I'm actually having a lot of fun helping the lower level characters out. And if I upgrade my shit past level +3 or plus like for normal and then +1 for somber, then I'll never get any summons. I'll never get any
Oh yeah.
rune arcs if I die. So I'm keeping the weapon levels low as well. So I have to be more tactical. Like I have to squat, backstab. I use the rotten dragon breath to annihilate bigger bosses like over time. So there's more strategy involved.
Yeah. There's one item that uh I think it's like a craftable potion, and if you drink it, then like the next time you get hit, it'll negate like a bunch of damage. And so
Yeah.
at some point I made like one of those once, but none of the tools that I have can like duplicate that item to like 99. But I was thinking like that would be kind of one way, that would be the way that I could beat the level 1 like challenge, is that I could just have 99 of those, and then every time I get hit, just drink another one.
Yeah, there's a limit to
Mhm.
the
Oh
bubbles.
yeah, what are you gonna? Yeah, yeah. Maidenless is a good idea though. That would be fun too. Like just you have to run everywhere. Can you fast travel without a maiden?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not too bad then. But yeah, I guess you still got to run. Yeah, you're still running to discover all the new part points.
No horse.
Mhm. Oh, and yeah, like the maiden controls leveling up though. Your like your character levels. So I guess you can't. You are level 1 then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess the interesting part of that would be like I would have to get like really in depth into like what are all the items and how do I use every item to give myself like an advantage, because I would need to. I would need to like always find every item I have access to augment.
Yeah, and you need to know the enemy's weaknesses and try to exploit them as much as possible. So like when you're taking on the tree, what the fuck's it called?
Like the urge tree.
Yeah, the sentinel. Use fire against it
Oh yeah,
as much as possible, because yeah. And I try to take those things on at a distance.
right.
Because like when you get to the stronger ones, they do one shot you.
Hmm. That'd be nice if they would add like a mode, like you could from a new game you could select like maidenless, and it would just like it would enforce that constraint and some kind of special ending to acknowledge it. Maybe an achievement.
That would be pretty cool. The limit though is that you only get 3 talisman pouches. Now I did see like apparently to get into the capital you need to glitch it because the expectation is that you talk to the
Mm.
finger lady in the
Oh
round
yeah,
table hold, and if you don't do that, well, apparently the runes don't get dispelled, so people have to like. Yeah, I looked it up. I was not happy about that, but
right. Huh.
excuse me, bro. Yeah, not happy with that.
So how does the glitch work?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up once
Mm.
I get to that point. So
But
I'm
you think
actually just
it's,
enjoying. Huh?
you think the glitch is like not prohibitively like hard to do?
No,
Mm.
no. You just YouTube it. I'll get it. But what do they call it? No, I don't remember what it's called. But anyway, I'm actually just enjoying running around, exploiting weaknesses. Like I'm realizing what everything's like weak to. So like there's like these
Uh,
kind of funguses that roam around and emit poison. Well, if you
Yeah.
poison them, they blow up.
Huh.
Seriously. I had no idea. I'm just like by taking my time and I'm seeing like the the way like enemies are placed and sometimes like what their actions are. They move around and interact with each other. It's just neat when you take your time.
Right.
Whole new appreciation for the game. Right now I'm a bit pissed off because I got murdered by the two knights there, the golden knights.
Oh yeah.
Or tree knights. Yeah, they fucked me up. I thought that gate was supposed to be more closed. I think they opened it up in an update because you could, I guess, cheese both of them from there. But now they
Huh.
just pursue you through the gate, and I got fucked up. And I had like 80,000 souls, which is a lot for a level one dude. So,
Oh yeah.
well, I use them to buy items.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, I'm getting pretty pooped.
Yeah.
Appreciate the
Yeah.
chat.
Yeah. Good chat.
I'll catch you later.
Yeah. I'll see you. Bye.
Bye bye.